Okay, hello friends. I want to do another pick a card for this full moon in Taurus, but there's so much going on with this full moon in Taurus. I could go on and on and on, but I just want to get to the four major themes that I'll build the pick a card from, okay? But even though I draw these four cards, that doesn't mean I'm going to put them in 1, 2, 3, 4 order, okay? They will be mixed up. The most important things about this full moon, the sun in Scorpio, the moon in Taurus, this is the first time we've had a full moon, and actually a new moon as well, where we had the sun opposite Uranus. Because I believe last year, this might have changed right around then. So, of course, this full moon is revealing sudden changes that need to be made after Mercury has been retrograde in Scorpio in the dark, working really hard on old stuff we had to release. Kind of old toxic energy, old toxic thought patterns on the level of old encoding stuff in your brain going back maybe to your DNA, maybe to the part of you that was part of an egg when your mother was born, when you were in your grandmother. That's how deep this stuff is. Okay, yeah, I know. We'll just let you wrap your head around that for a moment. Yeah, there's part of you that was in your mom before she was born and was housed in your grandmother. This is how generations are woven together, not only genetically, but by time. I mean, we are cemented, the mothers, the daughters, the grandmothers. We share time together genetically. And that's why our roots of our foundations, the fourth house, mother and child, right? See? So, this Mercury retrograde was cleaning up a lot of stuff from the past. It was also addressing our power issues, how we embrace our power, how we give our power away, and how we value ourselves as powerful beings and what we are willing to sacrifice or give up or not. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm going to have some interruptions here. Just a moment. This full moon has staying power. It is cleaning stuff up. It's getting rid of the old toxic stuff to make space for the good that's going to be coming, especially as we approach the galactic conjunction of the sun and or Jupiter and Venus at the end of the month before the new moon in Sagittarius. So keep letting yourself work on eliminating those things. And it's really setting the foundation as we barrel into the Saturn-Jupiter conjunction in January, which is at the lunar eclipse. Important stuff here. So, lots of deep healing, lots of uncomfortableness, lots of intensity. So, I want to ask the tarot, what are the four main themes? Whoa, I think the tarot has a lot to say. What are the four main themes of this full moon for the pick a card that my viewers, especially my friends, should focus upon? Okay. Four main things. 1, the sun, revelation. 2, choices we have to make. How we're separated from our power. How we're separated from ourselves. How we're separated from the things we value. The Four of Wands, where we have our structures and celebration, where we have our gains in the ideas that we put out and we build things. This is Venus in Aries. In Aries, we have the wands where we have an idea and a plan, and we work with the merchant and we create from it a stable structure, and we embellish it with Venus, the things that we love, the things that are comforting to us. Three of Pentacles, where our secret hidden talents are, where our secret discussions are, maybe our secret self-talk, maybe where our secret artistry, expertise needs to be revealed. And the theme of this is the Tower, and the fact that this is what's being shaken up within you, jolting you to look up, see what's going on. This is the card of Mars. Mars is in Libra. Libra is the scales of justice, fairness, balance. The Tower is shaking you up to find your balance and where you are with yourself and your power and your assets and your gains. Okay? So, these are the 4 cards. I will be creating 4 piles from them, okay? That's better. Okay. Pile 1. If you pick pile 1, remember, everyone is experiencing the shakeup of the Tower. This full moon might have violently shaken up things, maybe more so before the full moon, because Mercury was stationed just behind the sun as this full moon was approaching. As it came into fruition, Mercury moved ahead of the sun. So that point of Mercury, the messenger, electronics, would definitely have some shakeups going on. So everyone is experiencing the Tower with this. So pile 1, turn this over. So this pile, so this was the first, one of the first themes that the tarot drew for us with this full moon. And the 3 of Pentacles being something that you've been working on. You maybe you've been talking with others, but you've been dutifully working on a project and just trying to really get the very best, most quality, creative, inspiring work to be done. You've been very dutiful about it. It's consumed a lot of time. So that's your work project. Let's see, what do we have here? The Power, something with power struggles or revelation. You have, you have the Tower. I can imagine that this full moon was a tremendous shakeup that just rattled you to the core. It might not have been necessarily violent. This week might not necessarily be violent. But if you want to think about violence in terms of strong energies, aggressive energies, action, you just can't turn. This is like trying to turn back a giant wave. Something has happened. I don't know if it's with your project, your work, relationship, something you've been working a lot on, but this is the thing that's really been revealed to you. Power struggles and how you're handling them and where you stand with your own personal power. Where do you stand with that? Where are you going to give it away? And so the messenger we have here is the Two of Wands. The Two of Wands is looking at you. What kind of action are you going to take this week based on what you know? And when we're talking about the messenger, the universe is offering you signs. Look for the signs. Look for it in the nuances of what is spoken and what is not spoken. And rethink your action and plan of your course of action. Because remember, Mercury is still retrograde. So Mercury, being the messenger, is still playing tricks, but it has dug down really, really deep, deep, deep into places that needed to be revealed and exposes kind of maybe you want to reevaluate your plan of action and what you're doing. And this card is, oh, I'm sorry, this is not your messenger. It's your self-worth. But I feel like the messenger is also, yes, the messenger is saying, look at this and look at this, but this one also to your self-worth. So the plan of action that you're going to be taking in terms of your self-worth and your value, you have reassessed that with this Tower moment. And you really need to not go willy-nilly about this. Pay attention to what you're doing. Don't cut corners. This week is about reevaluating where you stand on the barometer of power and how much you're willing to give over of yourself to get to where you want to go with your projects, your long-term projects. How much does it mean to you? Your messenger is the Six of Cups. This is the nostalgia card. Again, here we are with the theme of reevaluating. And because this Mercury retrograde, it has to do with deep, deep, deep messages from long, like maybe familial, family level, DNA, generational messages. What is it from the past? From the past, how has this thing kept playing out and affected your power and your self-worth? Ooh, Spirit is saying go there. This has been established for a long time, and that's why it's felt like such a jolt with the Tower, because this is not serving you anymore. Things need to change. Okay? This is what to meditate and pray on. Seven of Pentacles reverse. This is hard stuff. These are your goals that have gone on unactualized, that you have all this stuff to do, and once again, we're blocked. Once again, there's no fruition. Do not be afraid to meditate on this. The Tower has shaken stuff up enough and cracked light on this, that in meditation and talking to Spirit, they're going to provide you with more answers. Again, we're reevaluating things, revisiting things. From the past, it will make more sense now to reevaluate it before you proceed. And finally, this is your will and your action is judgment. You're being called to judgment. You're at a crossroads, and you really need to assess everything from the past to the future. And this involves other people. It involves the care and compassion of other people as well. So this is not going away. You're at a crossroads. This is really important. Think about it. Think deeply about it. And that's your work for this week. That was pile 1. Hey, you guys. My stuff got moved because I can't sit down and finish this all at once. We're out tonight, and I just want to make sure we can see these. Okay, so moving on to pile number 2 on the best way to approach this week now that we've had this full moon, which has shaken everything up. Remember, okay, you remember because you've been sitting here. I've been out all night, all evening, so I'm trying to refresh here. So anyway, pile number 2. So, yes, so we have 4 themes. Your major theme for you, and this is the Judgment card that is still active. Maybe you're at a crossroads making decisions. Maybe this full moon just really jolted something new that you need to really ponder. So if you've picked pile 2, your card, the theme was 4 of Wands. I know I say this all the time. This is Venus and Aries. This is an Aries card because it's the 2, 3, 4s are the cardinal signs. So this being a fire sign, this is Aries. And it's, this full moon maybe has you thinking about prosperity, family happiness. There's perhaps joy, pursuing joy. If you're in a happy relationship, maybe that'll go farther. Maybe you're thinking maybe about marriage. Maybe this is about your community and you're happy in your community. The thing is that there is something right now that just brings you a lot of stability and happiness and balance. Maybe it's work. This is your career. This could be teamwork, working together. There's a lot of harmony on all sides and balance within you. Next, this is your power struggle, because the sign of Scorpio has to do with power and power struggles. And so you have the High Priestess. High Priestess. So it has to do with like a power struggle with maybe your intuition, maybe not trusting your intuition. Maybe you don't have a lot of Scorpio energy in your chart, because the High Priestess usually comes relatively easy for water signs, especially Scorpio, because Scorpio is kind of tuning in on multiple levels. I always say they have night vision, that they can see where things need to be unearthed. They just know intuitively where to go to find something. And so if this is a power struggle for you, maybe it's from your background, maybe it's just something you have. If Mercury retrograde in Scorpio dug this up for you, it's time to look here. It's time to go here. This has to do with clairvoyance, spirituality, psychics, energy. And if this is something you want, you have to activate that by trying, because there's just an abundance of unconscious knowledge that is at your disposal. Potent feminine energy. It also could be with Scorpio too, sending out a warning. Maybe you're coming into some sensitive information, and maybe now might not be the best time to share it. So that's your power struggle. With you, this full moon also activated one's self-worth and one's value, how you're going to judge yourself and power and maintain your self-worth. And you have the Ten of Swords. Wow, that's got to hurt. That Ten of Swords comes to mind. Maybe you're at a low point when it comes to your self-worth and your self-value. Maybe you've had some misfortune or defeat that is you're not feeling confident, and maybe this full moon kind of rattled you in that respect. There might be people that are around you that this Scorpio full moon with Mercury retrograde kind of revealed how they are kind of retaliatory against you. Maybe they're seeking revenge. But it's either others are acting out on you, or someone else is being acted out against and you're bearing this energy. But This is the self-worth piece. Someone's really given up a lot of self-worth and value for whatever situation they're in, especially if this is a card of harmony. And maybe if you're not very in tune with the psychic sense of you, you can end up in this type of situation. The next card is the Messenger. What's the Messenger saying? The World. So this is a really good card. It represents you, your greater calling, and where you're being called to. It's kind of a final state of cosmic consciousness. So maybe you are intuitive, but you just have that one last extra step you got to go. Maybe it's always called to you and you're kind of been like, I don't think so. Kind of scary. But this is what's being fulfilled. Are you reaching completion with something? There's a message here for you that something is coming, that's going to bring you triumph. It's going to bring you victory. So that's the message for you. Look around, watch the signs, see what you see. What to meditate on and pray on with this next week after this full moon of revelation. The Hermit. I love the Hermit. So the Hermit, if we see this card, I often refer to this as investigation, but it also has to do with someone who's wiser perhaps than you, maybe as a mentor. This card is showing you that it is time to listen for advice or seek advice, but to talk to someone who knows. Maybe you need a mentor, but accept, please, that advice. Be open to it. Because the staff that he carries symbolizes that knowledge that kind of transcends our senses. It goes beyond where we are here physically. It's something bigger. So I'm seeing a very metaphysical theme going on here. There's a lot of energy here that is wanting to help you out. And then finally, your will and your action this coming week. You have, wow, you have strength in spades. This is the time to go forward. This shows compassion. It shows that you're a force. It shows security. It shows triumph of love over hate. With Scorpio is passionate about the truth. And during this full moon with this Mercury retrograde, the truth is being exposed. You can't go wrong there. Strength is a virtue. And sometimes with this Scorpio full moon, sometimes being strong is letting yourself be weak. To have that all exposed. But the ultimate thing is that you're desiring domination over your fears. And this is such a supportive time for you to do that. Wow, I really liked that. Okay, moving on. Oh, whoops, where does this go? Okay, nope. Okay, I guess that's how that goes. Okay, here we go, pile 3. Like I was just saying, I just finished this pile, and what happened was I got home and someone moved my stuff, so I moved everything over. If this looks a little different from where you last looked. So you picked pile 3, and this is in response to the full moon that we had and what's being revealed to you and where to go this week, because it's just really intense and so much change. We have the card Judgment here. Something is really calling to you to decide. Maybe you're at a crossroads. This applies to everyone. This card is the card of Pluto, one of Scorpio's rulers. And so it has extra prominence as we are even thinking about moving forward and into January to the Saturn-Pluto conjunction, which is going to have lasting effects for decades, if not generations. That's how powerful the platform is that will be creating upon. That's why I knew that this month would be difficult, but to hang in there, because the more we cast off that we don't need and eliminate those toxins, the more space we have for the good, right? So if you picked pile 3, this was the main theme. Oh, the sun. Look at that. This is the card of success, revelation, attainment, celebrity, majesty. It is quite an accomplishment. It's very public as well. People take notice when you have success like this. Or if you've been going through a difficult time, this is a good omen that that stuff is going to clear. Moreover, the success, the heavens are are aligned with it as well. So this is high achieving success. This is a creative achievement. It's also like liberating you too. So this was the theme that you chose. You know what I like about this, especially as we're heading into the Saturn-Pluto conjunction that is going to have lasting effects? We have this stone wall back here. Stone, also a sign of Capricorn Saturn. That indicates lasting success. So things might have been shaken up, but hey, look at what you are attracting. So this card, this one is your power struggle. Oh, 7 of Swords. Was anything revealed to you about maybe you're letting go of too much? Maybe something might be being taken from you? Are there areas related to this success and this achievement that maybe you're too impulsive or maybe someone else is? Was there some deception that you need to consider? A betrayal, maybe evasion? This is your power struggle. And if this came up at the full moon, it's not going away. So let it be something judge yourself not to be powerless over, or that person, because you have it within you. This is a real power struggle. This could also be disregarding consequences or just being sloppy and selfish. So it could be you, it could be someone around you, but let this be a warning. Your self-worth and value, because that is what the moon in Taurus signifies, your self-worth and value. You have, 8 of Pentacles. Look at you. Look at you, fancy you. You are quite the artisan. You are quite the naturally skilled person. You have a natural talent for something that could develop from an apprenticeship to something even more. As this is tied to your self-worth and self-value, do you see yourself as having this natural talent, as being okay as an apprentice? You show great promise. Where are you with that? Are you going to ignore that? Are you having a power struggle with that, and that steals away from you? Your self-esteem is stolen from you to realize this? Don't cut yourself short. You have a great opportunity at employing and perfecting your craft. This is the messenger for you this week. Oh, judgment alert. Holy cow, you got a double dose of Judgment. Judgment being the card for Pluto. Pluto is one of the rulers of Scorpio. Pluto is the planet of transformation. So when we think about Judgment, there is a very important awakening going on here. Maybe a really important epiphany. You can't take it back. You can't go back. Your past is behind you. And so that is something you need to consider. This is a game changer. Something has definitely got your attention. Maybe you've been presented all the evidence you need and you're not making a judgment, or you need to make a judgment. Now what? And how is this going to be spiritually fulfilling? You're being called to very strongly about something. To meditate and pray on something. Oh, death. Okay, this actually continues the theme of Scorpio, because we have the sun in Scorpio, a power struggle, something that's been hidden to you to reveal, and are you feeling worthy of it that you have to judge? Well, here, this is what you need to meditate on and pray on. Now, this is not necessarily literal death. This is what needs to be transformed, what needs to change, and maybe it's your resistance to let it change. But see, these forces, there are some massive forces all around you that you don't get a say in it. You have to go with this. And so when you're thinking about death, you're ending a chapter in your life and you're beginning a new one. And you're going from where you are now, which might be the lower, you're going to the higher. Change is uncomfortable, so maybe meditate and pray on being able to go through this with more ease. The promise of Scorpio with transformation is endurance and perseverance, so you will have that, so ask for that. And finally, your will, your call to action is, I love this card, the Nine of Cups, the wish card. It is treat yourself. Treat yourself well. You've been working so hard, doing so much. It is time to do something special to recognize your accomplishments, whether it's a day at the spa. Have a party. When was the last time you threw a party for yourself? Go do that. So these are the themes to keep thinking about, not only this week, but the rest of the month. And because it's helping to pave a way into January 2020 and beyond. Okay, thanks. Okay, and here we are, last but not least, our pile 4. Oh, I want to let you know, like I explained to the other piles ahead of you, I had stepped out this evening. My stuff was kind of not in place, so I had to push everything back. So if this looks different than from where you clicked from, that's why. Okay, and so you picked the 4th pile on this Taurus full moon, which it was very intense, that's shaking things up, doing a lot of this, judgment. Judgment happens to be the card of Pluto, and Pluto is one of Scorpio's rulers. This is a crossroads, and Pluto is the planet of transformation, life and death. And so you picked, there were 4 themes. Your card you picked the Two of Swords. This full moon, you have a major, difficult decision to make. Maybe you feel like you're in a stalemate or a catch-22, or you're having to choose between 2 bad things. That's no fun. But if they're both equally bad, I'm thinking about Libra and justice, because I just looked at that video. The decision can't go wrong if it's made in justice. Not injustice, one word, but if you make that decision in the essence of justice, there you go. Or this full moon could be highlighting something to you that maybe you're indecisiveness, or maybe you're blinded by something and you're grasping at something in the dark. There might be trouble ahead if you don't make this decision. But here's the thing. You can see she holds the power. She's holding 2 swords. That looks pretty powerful to me. Not messing around. Even if it's 2 bad options, you know what? It's time to stop deliberating and time to start deciding, and you have the power to do that. So, this full moon perhaps was a jolt and perhaps unearthed some things you did not see, but the light has been cracked open upon these decisions that are coming your way. Your power struggle. Your power struggle is with, the 3 of Cups, celebration, jubilee, merriment. Are you working too hard? Are you not being nice to yourself? Is there too much pressure on you, or is there someone close to you? Because this signifies good fortune and company. This is your struggle. You perhaps need to be surrounded by better fortune and company, community and friendships. Or perhaps there was a revelation about your ability to do this with the people that you know. Perhaps your 2 of Swords is making a decision on who your true friends are, who your true allies are or not. Or are you celebrating too soon? What's going on here? I feel like if you knew the answer to this you'd be able to decipher. This card has to do with your self-worth and value, because the Taurus has everything to do with, income gains, but your self-worth, how you value yourself. The Ace of Wands. This is about being able to take new action or a new venture, having a new idea that is very innovative and enterprising. This is on your path to your material and spiritual progress. It could be a new career. It could be a new family member. But if your self-worth and self-value is tied to this, would that be related to some self-sabotage? Maybe setbacks? Maybe not prioritizing it? Loss of focus? Where are you with this? Do you see yourself as being worthy or valued enough to have this thing that has been a spark from divine creative power? This card, this one is your messenger. Oh, it's the Tower. Now, before we look at the Tower as the Tower, as we usually look at the Tower, you need to know that the Tower represents the planet Mars. Scorpio is ruled by Mars and Pluto. So Mars and Pluto have been exceptionally active for you this full moon. Mars right now is in Libra, which has to do with the scales of justice, which seems like this card as well, making just decisions. This is a messenger. It could be a warning of a strike or a downfall from maybe too much ambition, maybe someone you know's ego is too tied up into something, maybe someone has their blinders on. But there's going to be a sudden change. It might feel a jolt, you might feel insecure, but here's the thing. You are promised with Scorpio revelations as such. You are promised the tenacity and the will and can do as such. In the aftermath, you will see the truth. You will have epiphanies. And perhaps your path to total divine fulfillment, you have to go through this. This reminds me of like the Saturn return, where it usually hits around 27 years of age, maybe around, I don't know, 55, late 50s. When you go through that and you haven't kept the balance and done the work that you were supposed to do, it hits you hard. And there's no way around it. You have to be accountable. You have to be divinely accountable. And so we want a solid foundation. I am glad that if you are having a jolt in your structures right now, you want those cleared out. You want to work on those the best you can, because come January, the Saturn-Pluto conjunction on the heels of a lunar eclipse, this staying power, it's going to last for decades or longer. History will refer to January 2020 when things were set in stone. That's the power of this. So as uncomfortable as it is, you might want to be welcoming the opportunity to go through this, make your decisions, get through it, clean it up, be accountable, and move forward, because the more you postpone, the more uncomfortable it's going to be, and the harder it will be to make progress after January, because spring is going to be kind of messy too. This is what you need to meditate and pray upon. The devil. So what is the devil? The devil represents our addictions. It represents those things that we're tied to. It could be debt. It could be alcohol. It could be drugs. The devil is also a warning. The devil, the sign of Capricorn, which is the 10th house of the horoscope, it's the public house. It's the public skies. We have to work step by step and take responsibility to get ahead in our careers. If you don't, if you just take shortcuts to get to the top and you don't care what happened, you're not going to last. Just like POTUS. All of them made deals with the devil to get ahead, and now they're chained to it. This is a warning. The plans that you make, they need to be authentic and they need to be responsible. And as you're on your path and you take your steps along that path, things clear and you take another step forward. Things clear and you take another step forward. And here's the thing with Saturn. Saturn is the taskmaster. It makes you do the thing you need to do correctly and expertly. And as you get through these returns and these aspects during difficult times, it always gives you, you're always rewarded with that. So whatever you are feeling bound by, seduced by, maybe the material world has taken over than the spirit world, this is the time to meditate and pray on this. Pray for release, pray for inspiration, and stillness. Feel that fear of this. Feel those feelings, but do it without pain. And instead of hanging on and stuffing those feelings, to let them rise up and circulate, and then they circulate out of your domain. Don't hang on to this. It's a warning. And this is your card to act upon, your will. Oh, I'm so glad. This was a little depressing over here. Look at your reward that's waiting for you. I told you, I promised. These things hit, you will be given gifts to get through them. And at the end, your reward. The rainbows are a blessing from heaven. This is the promise from God. Your success, your ultimate happiness is there. Your true friends, your true allies, your rewards are there. Find your true happiness and honor that. That's what you need to act upon. Find your true allies. Act upon that. This was a jolt. Down the road, you will see that it was a blessing. I promise you there's good waiting for you. And I know you can make this decision. And sometimes that's the hardest part, is just making the decision. Okay? So, and in closing, my friends, my viewers, this was fun. I love these. I think this might be kind of the alternative to the Taroscope, because the Taroscope is so involved, complex in explaining things, that this is easier for me to just get off the ground than do the whole lunation thing. Even though I will do aspects of them, you know, this is a little bit easier, and it addresses all those issues. So go forth, enjoy the impeachment hearings. I hope it brings you delight, laughter, love. I hope that we all remember who we are with this great United States of America. I truly hope you can just take a moment, enjoy the popcorn, enjoy the media trying, and just detach, and write notes in a diary and a dialogue, because I am telling you, history is beaming huge spotlights on us right now. So be well until I see you again. Enjoy the impeachment hearings. Okay, bye-bye.